That's right. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Entrepreneur Showdown. My name's Dan Franks. Across the way, that's my partner, Joe Cassandra. And today, we're going to tackle some tough topics in the entrepreneur business world. First, we're going to talk about what's more important, love of what you're doing or the money that you get out of it. We're going to talk about rebranding your business and rebranding yourself, how to do it, when to do it, and why. And we're going to welcome somebody on as our special guest in the main event who's tackling this very same issue, and that's Chris Guthrie. We'll find out what he thinks and why he's doing it himself. That's right, it's time for another main event here on the Entrepreneur Showdown. Our guest today is known as one of the most successful Amazon affiliate marketers, and at one point in time sold one of his niche websites in a deal worth 6 figures. He, up until recently, has blogged at MakeMoneyOnTheInternet.com and has produced the Make Money on the Internet podcast. Today, our guest is Chris Guthrie. You've probably heard him interviewed on many podcasts, but today we hope to get some different and even more valuable insight. Because if you're tuned into round 2, you heard us discuss Chris's current task, which is rebranding his blog, which to me means rebranding himself. So enough of the talk, let's get down to business. Chris, thanks for joining us on the Showdown.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we normally start off by asking the guests where our audience can go to learn more about your background, since we're going to dive right into the content. But I really think that that's kind of the topic at hand here today. So let's get right down into walking us through the decision that Joe and I have been discussing in round 2, which is to rebrand your blog.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of a tough decision because I've had the blog for over 3 years now, I guess, because I only really started it because I was making more money for my websites than my day job when I got let go. And so I was like, well, I have time to start another blog and I can talk about what I've been learning making money. So I went about researching for domain names. And at the time, when I was researching, there was a really big emphasis from Google on how much keywords can influence rankings. And it was, I believe, late 2012 that they removed the bonus that exact match domains can provide for a keyword when you're trying to rank for it. So depending on how experienced your listeners are, people would use that. They would spend, tens of thousands of dollars or more to buy exact match domain names and rank for different types of keywords. And it would help, with their SEO efforts. So, I did the research on just different types of make money online related terms, even though I knew that just make money online as a phrase and just things that around it, people, smart people that come to these types of sites are going to be skeptical sometimes when they see it, right? But I thought that the benefits of being able to rank number 1 for make money on the internet would outweigh the potential downside of what people might think about it. So I went ahead and bought that domain for $5,000, and the Google AdWords keyword tool, which is getting ready to no longer exist anymore, but I used that tool to do research to see how many people were searching for that term. And before I bought the domain, it was 60,000 people searching per month. But after I bought the name and I started ranking for the term, Google said that they were updating their keyword tool with more accurate data. So what do you want to guess what happened to that keyword? It was not getting as 60,000 searches. It was more like 2,000.
Oh, no.
So, it was kind of it sucked, right? Because, it was $5,000. It's not the first time I've dropped $5,000 and had it not been the best idea. But, that's really kind of the backstory and why I picked that name. But it's tough now because for a long time I haven't been blogging as much either, because I've just kind of been doing a lot of the stuff I talk about as opposed to just teaching it. But I kind of enjoy it. I like talking about different types of things. I was thinking about starting up income reports again, even though I kind of feel like a douche if I'm doing that. But I don't know. I guess all my real life friends think I'm sort of a douche for talking about stuff like this anyways. Anyways, I was just trying to see how many times I could say that word.
Douche. Well, so I find it interesting. You picked out this name, and obviously the reasoning behind it ended up not being as strong as you thought it would be. But you successfully built up a large community, a large following with that domain name. yet you're deciding to kind of abandon that and go a different direction. How do you make that decision? Is it purely based on SEO? Because that's kind of what it sounds like. Or is it just based on trying to build that audience more and you think you've kind of hit a ceiling with where you're at now?
I think it's a combination of both. So the SEO standpoint is one thing where it's ranking for make money on the internet isn't that big of a deal. And in reality, I think that potentially Google doesn't give benefit to, I don't know, I think it's unlikely, but I almost would think that they'd be like, oh, this domain sounds like it could be scammy, so let's not.
Like you might actually get punished.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that that's that, but it's also too that I think people's first interaction with my site, well, one, so there's a lot of things, right? But it's a really long domain name, so that's one thing. People have to type it in. But just people come to the site and, I mean, I try to make it not look like a scam or something.
Yeah.
It's kind of a typical type site in terms of the content that I read about.